lost forever under all this emptiness. Each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you leave me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. They say that time is a healer. I don't believe what they say. I'm broken anyway. Ever since we parted, all this pain started. It's never ending. Under all this emptiness, each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Don't tell me you love me when you're sorry. It's not enough. Ooh, no. Only this time I woke and broke and free. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, 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 Amelia. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a good Monday and that you had a good weekend as well. So a little bit of a slower paced start to tonight's live stream, taking a look at the acoustic version of Amelia, and it's kind of technically live, but wasn't live because I had to record myself again singing the harmony lines behind myself. So yeah, that was me as close as I'm going to be able to get to singing with myself, but that was the acoustic version of Amelia. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So I can see you guys in the live chat room already, so hello to you. Let's give a shout out to some of you. We have okay, Momo, Harvey, Sarah, Laurie, Angela, Carl, Paul, Mike, Susie, Daisy, Bob, Sue, Mag, Joe, Stargirl Music, Debbie, WNP67. That said, hello to you guys. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday night. So, for tonight's live stream, we're going to be doing much of the same that we usually do. We've got the vote kicking off at the top of the live chat room, and that's between Sweet Emotion and Parisian Walkways. And Parisian Walkways has been there for a few live streams now, so it looks like Sweet Emotion's in the lead at the moment with 56% of the vote, but it's going to be my version of either of those songs, so click on those at the top of the live chat room, whichever one you want to hear later on in tonight's live stream. Let me get the names of my patrons up on screen first, because they make this all possible in the first place. So a massive shout out to you guys. You know who you are. And without them, nothing would be possible on the channel. They are the foundation of everything that I do. So a massive shout out to all of you and a big thank you to all of you as well. So we are going to be aiming for, as we always do, a target of likes for tonight's live stream. And the target is set at 545. Now, I have a suspicion that the last Fill Jam we did was 196. So I'm going to change that to 197 because that is correct. I'm just checking Joe's message. If we do hit the target tonight, we'll have that jam. We'll bust out the guitar and see what happens. But 545 is what we are going to be aiming for. And I sometimes forget to put the likeometer up on screen so we can see where we are. And at the moment, we are at 247, which means we're looking for 298 more people. I think that's the maths done early on in tonight's live stream. So yeah, we'll stick with that. Hopefully we can get a bit of a spike of the likes going on. And yeah, if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. So let me also put up on screen the donations tab because I can see that Paul has donated a couple of times already, so thank you for that, Paul. But as I always say, you don't have to donate, just watching is great. So in the live chat room, you can introduce yourself to everybody else, and that's how we all get to know each other. And I get to know your names and your usernames, the pictures, the profile pictures that I can see as well. Sometimes it's just a letter, like I can see Laura Lee going through with an L, and Bang Bang Drummer with a B, and Mark M with an M. So sometimes you just get a letter, but sometimes you do get pictures up there as well. So, right, let's jump into those donations from Paul. Thank you for those. But like I said, guys, you don't have to donate. But for those people that can't resist, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal. And that's through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But like I said, just watching is great. And thank you guys for watching the channel and subscribing, all that cool stuff, because Paul has donated $2. Thank you, Paul. And the message was, spike the likes, soon to be 451,000 subscribers, rock. And then Paul donated straight away after that and said, oh, $2, technically not straight away afterwards, but just a couple of hours afterwards. And Paul said, we did it, 451,000 subscribers, rock. So let's get the subscriber pop-up thing on screen, because yes, we have hit 451,000 subscribers, which is amazing and a ridiculous number. 450 was a ridiculous number. And pretty much everyone over 100,000 is a little bit crazy. But thank you guys for subscribing, and you will have to hit that notification bell to get notified for all of the videos in the future, and the live streams, and every analysis video that I do as well. And in 2025, which we are very much almost into, I will be revealing what I've been up to with this side project that I've been working on for absolutely ages, basically the whole of 2024, but I'll let you all know about that over on Patreon as well. If you want to get involved over there, that's probably where the latest news gets announced first, because generally if I'm announcing anything on the channel, it's either a live stream or in an analysis video that I might mention something. But over on Patreon, I do updates in the evening as well, so you guys over there will be in the loop. And let me get rid of this. Oh, I think the people stopped cheering, and then when I cancel it, they start cheering again, and then I've stopped them. Okay, right, we are back to it's all kicking off. We've now got an advert trying to happen at the bottom of the screen on the right, which I have cancelled. So anyway, yeah, if you want to get involved over on Patreon, you can do. The link is patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. So yeah, that's where I am, and if you want to message me directly, then you can do over there. But I will be mentioning what I've been up to, and I'm hoping that in 2025 I can start getting this ball rolling this ball that I've been making for a very long time. So anyway, yes, thank you, Paul, for those donations, and there have been donations in the PayPal window as well, so thank you guys for those. I just want to make sure I don't miss any from last time. We had a donation from Bruce for £4, so thank you for that, Bruce, and that is a straight up donation. And Cindy has donated £50 as well. Thank you for that, Cindy. The message is, hi Phil, I hope you can take a bit of a break, maybe release a prior Phil jam or two instead of regular videos as a holiday treat for your subscribers, so everyone can see what a brilliant guitarist you are. Thanks for all you do. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing over Christmas. Most likely it's going to be the Christmas Eve live stream, and that'll fall on a Tuesday, so it just kind of fits anyway. And then obviously Christmas Day I won't be doing anything. Well, obviously I will be with family, but not be doing anything online. So Christmas Day, and then that'll be a Wednesday, so then Thursday is normally admin anyway, but that's Boxing Day, and I know that we're possibly going over to my sister's for Boxing Day because, yeah, it's just the way that things have worked out this year. And then Friday there might be a video, and Sunday there might be a video. And yeah, this is the thing about YouTube, is at any time of the year, if you don't release a video when you would normally release a video, the algorithm says, oh, I'm not going to start telling, or I'm going to stop telling people about your videos. So yeah, it's a bit of a harsh taskmaster, but I will, yeah, probably release something on the Friday and the Sunday, and then the next Tuesday it's going to be New Year's Eve, and it's going to be the same thing probably again. So New Year's Day on Thursday, and then just the Friday and the Sunday. Whether I'll do a live stream then, I'm trying to figure out when that would be. That'll probably be what, the 3rd or the 4th or something on Saturday. So I'll probably, yeah, just follow the main live stream schedule that I normally would do. So we're not going to be missing a live stream this year, which can sometimes happen if it just falls in the wrong order. But yeah, I will see what I can do. And I am planning, yeah, to kind of have a few videos that I can maybe record in advance, even though I know I am running out of time already because it's the 17th. So it's Christmas Eve next week. There you go. So I'll have to get myself organised. But thank you for that, Cindy. And Tammy has donated £10. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 451,000 subscribers. You and your channel are growing fast, and we couldn't be more proud of you. You are the best. Love and rock. So thank you for that. And yeah, we'll just keep on pushing forward and see where we end up with it all. But yeah, it's a great number to be at the moment. And as I said in the last live stream, that the more people that are tuning in and seeing the videos, especially the more recent videos where, you know, I'm pointing out quite regularly what's going on that people don't really necessarily appreciate or understand, that what they might be watching isn't exactly what they think it is and all that kind of stuff. Even going back to attending shows and then finding out afterwards that it wasn't actually a live show that they were watching, that it was something that's pre-recorded. Again, you know, it's yeah, an important thing. If lots of people are hearing about it, then it means that if I am going to be doing something, which I will be doing next year, to bring people's attention to maybe something that's going to make the industry more transparent, I think that can only be a good thing. And we might have a troll corner a little bit later on, because I got a comment from somebody who really doesn't understand what the point is of pointing everything out in order to have more transparency. That my videos, I'm not going through the internet and I haven't got some kind of grudge against a particular singer, and I'm trying to find, you know, they might do loads of live performances, and I've, you know, looked at hundreds of their videos, and I found one that might be either lip synced or pitch corrected or auto tuned. So out of my 3 years worth of watching videos of this particular artist, I then find one and then I do an analysis video on it to expose them. People don't really understand that. I guess they just watch one video and it just happens to be the artist that they are a fan of and think that I'm trying to expose them. I'm not trying to expose any artist. I'm trying to bring attention to the industry, how this is literally an industry standard for us to not really know what's going on. And I think that can't be healthy for any industry. It's not actually allowed in any other industry. If you're selling things that aren't actually the things that you're selling, you get investigated, you probably get arrested, and you get taken to court. So this is it. That I think the more people that understand and maybe watch the videos, then a better position I will be in, but we will be in, to have a music industry in the future that is more transparent and more honest and has a little bit more integrity to it, which I'm all for. So I will keep on doing what I'm doing, and not. I think if I avoid it, it just makes the problem worse. I think it's important to just be as honest as possible, and if I can somehow twist the music industry's arm to be more honest, then I will do. So anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. Right, Karen has jumped into that super chat window, so thank you for that. $10 donation, and the message is sending condolences to the children and families affected by our latest school shooting in Wisconsin, this time by a 15-year-old girl just before Christmas. A unique US problem. So thank you for that. And I mean, this is something that we don't get in the UK. Well, we don't have guns. So I mean, it's very sad to hear about that stuff over in the USA. But it's very difficult because, I don't know what the solution is. I know that we don't talk politics on this channel, but all we have here, which again is a sad situation, is knife crime. So if you get somebody who's just a bit crazy and doesn't really know what they're doing, and they can go and stab people, that's sadly what can happen here in the UK. But I mean, the argument is that with knife crime, if somebody's running at you with a knife, at least you get an option to run. And if you're faster at running than the person with the knife, at least you can survive. But if you see somebody coming at you with a gun, and sometimes they're automatic weapons, which is, I don't know why you would ever need, unless you're in a war, why you'd need an automatic weapon. But this is the problem, that they say, well, because the people who might be trespassing or trying to rob you, because they've got access to automatic weapons as well, so you need an automatic weapon. What if they have a bazooka? Then you need a bazooka. What if they have a nuclear weapon? Then you need a nuclear weapon. So it's a never-ending cycle. So once it gets to the point of automatic rifles being available to buy, anyway, going back to my point with knives, even though that happens here in the UK, at least you get an opportunity to run. But with a gun, it doesn't matter. If you see somebody with a gun, there's not a lot you can do unless you get behind cover. But then they can just walk behind the cover. So guns. I'm not a fan of it. I've never held one, and I don't really plan to hold a gun at any point in my future. But again, it's just, I don't know. I think with the UK, because we don't have them, our upbringing or our view on them, we don't have the same. Because I know that in some places it's normalised that as kids, they might go out and parents might take their kids to a shooting range where they actually fire guns, and it's like something that they do maybe for fun, or it's almost trivialising guns. And I know that in a lot of places they do make sure that guns are treated with respect, and but there's always going to be places that aren't as reputable. And I know that I've heard that accidents have happened at gun ranges before with maybe a kid accidentally shooting the instructor or something. But yeah, we don't have that here in the UK. So yeah, as Karen says, condolences to all the families affected during that. I don't know anything about it, but we do hear of particular school shootings and shootings over in the USA, but it's not something, thankfully, that it is a problem here in the UK. So yeah, thank you for that, Karen. And Tortoro Porco has donated $2 as well, so thank you for that. And the message is, please take a day off if you need it. So thank you for that. And yeah, I will do my best to take it as easy as possible, but generally what happens is, in order to take it easy, it means that you have to go through a period of kind of working very hard to then free up that time, because yeah, especially with YouTube, it's not something that you can just leave and then when you come back to it, everything's as it was. I missed one. I think I missed one video this year, and it took maybe 2 or 3 months to recover from missing one video, because the algorithm then doesn't tell anybody that you've released another video after you've missed one. So yeah, that's the problem. It's trying to keep things moving along so that when you do come back to it, you've had a bit of time off, but you've done everything in advance so that the algorithm still sees you making videos. I mean, it is really harsh, but it is understandable, because everyone wants to be a YouTuber or a creator, or whatever they call it. So this is the problem, that there's so much competition that people are releasing videos every day, and some people are doing reaction channels where they're doing 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 videos a day. I mean, it's not really what I'd consider quality content, because all they're doing is filming themselves watching something, and that's a breach of copyright as well. So yeah, some people just really want to try and do it, and will do a ridiculous amount of videos like that to try and get the algorithm to push their content and for them to get more views and, I don't know, subscribers, hopefully, thinking maybe people want to see that. But yeah, it's a very competitive marketplace, so as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, the algorithm's eyes go elsewhere. But anyway, yeah, I will keep doing what I do and try to take it as easy as possible. But thank you for that, Tortoro Porco. And Sue has donated $9.99 in the super chat window, so thank you for that. And the message is, yay for live streams falling on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So thank you for that. And yeah, it's just the luck of the draw, because this year we didn't have a Halloween live stream because it fell in exactly the wrong place, and it was kind of days away from each live stream, so it would have just felt a little bit weird suddenly having a Halloween live stream that wasn't actually Halloween yet. So yeah, it turns out that we missed Halloween, but we get both the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve live stream happening on the same day as the actual days. But obviously, I wouldn't have a Christmas Eve live stream on the 22nd or anything like that. But you know what I mean. Just the calendars worked out that way. So thank you for that. So, right. Now, we are up to date with everything, which is great. And let's have a little look at the likeometer. 381 likes at the moment so far. We're aiming for 545. And if we hit that target, then we're going to be having our Phil Jam at the end of the live stream. But yeah, if you can hit that thumbs up, if you haven't hit that thumbs up already, it would be very much appreciated. And I know that I've already done the maths for today, and I'm kind of hoping that it gets to 400, because then it's 145 plus 30 is 75. So 175, is it? It's moved from 385. So that's, double maths for tonight, which just gave me a flashback to my secondary school education. Double maths. I was going to say, is there anything worse? But yes, there was at my school, and it was double Latin. Yeah, and I know, obviously I'm, I guess, relatively old, so that I did Latin at school when it was still a thing. And chalk was still a thing, and blackboards was still a thing. So, and ballpoint pens weren't a thing, or at least the ballpoint pens are like biros, aren't they? They've got a ball in them. That's why they work. So I'm trying to think of what the name... It's been so long since I used them, but it was a pen that you had to put ink in. You put ink cartridges into your pen. This is what happened when I was at school. So yeah, using biros and all of that kind of stuff wasn't done. And I don't know when biros must have been invented. I don't know why we were using fountain pen, Elaine says. So there you go. So yeah, we had fountain pens, and you'd have your ink cartridges there that you'd have to obviously refill. And back in the day, so there you go. And I'm getting all of these flashbacks because of double maths, but double Latin on a Wednesday morning, which was the ultimate insult, because on Wednesday afternoons was sport, and that's what I liked. And yeah, unfortunately only one of the semesters that you say over in the USA, but only one of the terms was football, which was my sport. So it meant that in order to get to the thing that I wanted to do at school, which was the sport, I had to go through double Latin in order to get there in the afternoon. And yeah, double Latin was not very enjoyable at all. And the teacher was crazy. So what happened was we advanced from... They had these things that were called whiteboards. And they were so futuristic because we were used to being taught on obviously blackboards with chalk, and then whiteboards came in, and only a few classrooms had them, but the Latin classroom was one that had a whiteboard. So I mean, it was amazing because the teacher wrote on the board and then wiped it away, and it would blow your mind. Obviously, I mean, now lessons are probably most likely done on computers, but anyway, back in the day, whiteboards were amazing. And yeah, our Latin teacher was a bit crazy, to the point where he did something which you would never be allowed to do nowadays. One of the students in the classroom, who was he had a temper issue, and I'm talking about the teacher, and he would go a little bit crazy. And so what he did is, the pens that they had when whiteboards first came in were metal, so they were quite weighty. So anyway, he asked a guy behind me, thankfully a few rows behind me, what the tense was of this particular verb, and he got it wrong. And then the teacher said, well, look at it again, what is the tense of the verb? And then he got it wrong again. So you think, well, he's been a bit unlucky here, because he's gone for... if you're thinking about the future tense, the past tense, the present, he's got it wrong twice in a row, so he was a bit unlucky. So the teacher turned around and he threw the metal pen at the kid's head behind me, but the kid managed to move out the way so it didn't hit him in the face. So there you go, different times where that kind of thing, but that wasn't, the teacher didn't get sacked or anything. That was a normal thing. So there you go. Had it hit him in the face, then there might have been issues, could have broken his nose or something. But that was the kind of fear we were living in double Latin. Don't get the tense wrong. So yeah, I mean, you could say it's good motivation to try and learn, but I didn't enjoy that at all. And I don't think anybody enjoys living in fear for a double lesson of Latin. And double meant it was maybe an hour and a half. It was something crazy like that. So yeah, really had to try and just hopefully be avoided for questions. I think loads of people do this at secondary school, where a teacher would throw the question out, but you could see in their eyes that they're looking at who to question. So you'd always sink behind your desk. So back in my day, you had desks, and you opened your desk and you had your books in your desk, and you even had a little part in the desk for ink. But I think that was probably the people maybe 30 years before me. You might have actually got the ink out of these little holes that were in the desk. But anyway, when I went there, we then had cartridges. But yeah, that was it. You had a desk, a wooden desk that you kept your books in. So you would try to hide a little bit behind your desk if you could see that the teacher was going to ask a question that you didn't know the answer to, and then hopefully just dodge that bullet. And because you don't want an angry teacher. Not back in my day, but thankfully there wasn't any punishment as in physical abuse, like canes and all that kind of stuff. So I missed out on that. But I still would say it's light years away from what you get nowadays in schools. It wouldn't be believed that teachers are throwing things at kids, especially metal things. Anyway, there we have it. And, I mean, you could argue that it was good motivation in order to study a bit more and try and get a better mark on your test and all that kind of stuff. So, I think most people would agree that even though it was bad, the goal of the teacher, in order to get you to learn more, it did achieve that goal. So, fear will do that. But anyway... let's get back on track with tonight's live stream. I don't know how I got sidetracked with that, but thank you for the donations, and there's been another one in the super chat window, so thank you for that. And here we go. This is the one that I'm not sure how to say. It's Exotica Soterica. So thank you for that, and as you can see, I'm struggling just as much as I did with the last live stream to say that, but that's their third donation in the super chat window, so thank you for that. And the message is, "Hi Phil, you had trouble with my user ID in the previous live stream. It's just Exotica and Esoterica. I just like to dig into strange subjects, or so people who know me think. Anyway, so thank you for that. So, the first bit I'm fine with, Exotica, but Esoterica, I don't know what that is. I haven't heard of that before. So it must be a subject that I, don't know about and haven't heard of. So that's why I cannot say that username, but thank you for that. Daisy says, Esoterica. Esoterica. So there you go. Esoteric. So Frank is saying. Okay, esoterica. Ica. So right, everyone's now writing in the live chat room trying to get me to say esoterica. So there you go. I'm probably sounding like I'm saying it differently each time, but I'm just reading what is on the screen. Esoterica. That's what I'll go with. So Exotica, Esoterica. That's what I'm going with. Final answer. Not for £1 million. Or I wonder if they have that. Here in the UK, we have this show that's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And they say final answer before you want to answer, and then you say yes, final answer, but it's for £1 million. I don't know whether they have one for $1 million maybe over in the USA. Who knows? I suppose they can still call it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but final answer. Right, jumping. Thank you for that $9.99 donation and leading us down that path of pronunciation. But we have had just another donation over in the PayPal window. So thank you for this. Vera, who has donated £7.54. And the message is, "Hi Phil, I watched your favourite Christmas movie, Die Hard. It was very enjoyable. Now, do me a favour. Make time to watch Christmas Vacation as a Christmas present to yourself. I promise that you will love it. Have a lovely Christmas and enjoy your family. Hope Santa brings you all kinds of stuff. Laugh out loud. Big hugs, Vera Lynn." So thank you for that. And Die Hard is one of those, because I've seen it lots of times before, it means I can kind of have it on in the background. If I was watching a movie for the first time, then I'd probably want to concentrate on it a little bit more to follow the story of what's going on. But with Die Hard, there was actually a show which was a little bit rubbish here in the UK, but they were going through movies, and I only saw one episode, and I didn't even see the whole episode, because they did an episode on Die Hard going through the stunts to see what would have been possible and what wouldn't have been possible, all that kind of stuff. one bit in the movie that I think wouldn't have been possible is when he falls down the elevator shaft and he manages to grip onto, and anybody that's fallen any distance will know that if you're looking to then grab onto anything, just the weight of your body. I mean, some people struggle just to hold their body weight without any downward momentum. You're just holding it there because they don't have the grip strength or the arm strength in order to do it. So when you're falling, in order to then grab onto a tiny little gap, and it was like a vent that he was then trying to get into, that wouldn't have been possible. So you have to kind of overlook that in the movie. Then actually lifting himself up into the vent, you need headroom in order to get the top part of your body up to then get into the vent, and there wasn't that there. So that might not have been possible. But then I did notice the last time I watched it, there is a little ledge that he manages to get his feet on, and I think, oh, maybe if he could push himself up a little bit, maybe that means he wouldn't need that headroom to then get his body into the vent. So anyway, a couple of things. The most interesting thing was when the bombs were about to go off at the top of the Nakatomi Plaza, he puts a hose, like fireman's hose, round his waist. He jumps off the top of the building, and then it stops, and he manages to break his way back into the building through the glass. They did that experiment, and when he jumped off on the model that they used, and they got something as close to human skin and flesh as you can, when it went down, just the stopping of the momentum cut the model in half. So he would have died doing that because of that sudden stop. And I think this is something that a lot of movies do, where somebody jumps off a building, they're attached to something that isn't like a bungee cord, it has no give in it, but then they suddenly stop and then they're okay. Whatever that's attached to, like if it's around your waist, it's going to cut you in half because of the sudden change from maybe you're doing 60 or 70 miles an hour to zero. That's going to have an effect. But anyway, this is the point about movies. You just have to let go of what you know to be true and just try and enjoy it and overlook those kinds of things. But it's still a good movie. Anyway, thank you for that, Vera. Right. I can see that we have... Oh, we're now under 100. We're within 100 likes of the Phil Jam for later on in tonight's live stream. So what would that be? Like 91 more people I think we need. And that makes it easier. So 90 more people to hit that thumbs up. If you could do that, that would be very much appreciated if you haven't done it already. And we'll have that jam. And it's 197. We are certainly getting through them, closing in on the 200th Phil Jam in a live stream. There's quite a lot of backing tracks. So thank you to Joe for sending me all of those 196 and now 197 backing tracks so far. So we will keep an eye on that. Where are we time-wise? We are approaching midnight here in the UK. We do have a picture corner for tonight. We have the cover video as always, and we probably will have a troll corner as well. But what should we jump into first? I mean, we've still got a bit of time, which is good. We might jump into troll corner just because there's one that I can remember. I'll have to think if I can remember anything else. But let's jump into troll corner, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. So for tonight's troll corner, there was somebody who commented saying that they enjoyed the troll corner section of the live streams, and they hoped that the troll type comments don't negatively affect me emotionally or mentally or anything like that. So they don't. I'm absolutely fine, and I think it's important to bring a bit of attention to it because other channels go through the same thing, and some people might think that they're the only ones who get trolls, but it is just a regular thing. So even for channels that might not have a whole lot of subscribers, I think it's important just to say that I know that some channels do remove all negative comments, so people might be led to believe that, oh, I'm the only person that gets trolls, and why do people hate me and all that kind of stuff, and it can affect them emotionally and affect their mental health, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's better just to kind of mention it and get it out there. And yeah, I think that when you do talk about it, it probably helps it anyway, to get the information out, so that again it's transparency, everyone knows what's going on. But yes, the comment that I want to address is one that I'm not sure which singer it was about, but it might have actually been the recent analysis video that I did. That was actually Tim that sent it to me, from, because he was going to be doing an analysis. Tim Welch, by the way, who's got his own vocal academy, and he does videos on YouTube, and he was going to be doing a reaction video to a particular performance, and he kind of noticed how similar one performance was to the next, with these performances that were actually, I think, 4 years apart. So he asked me to take a look at it, because he didn't want to kind of say something that was incorrect. So yeah, because he watches my channel, he sent it along to me, and I just pointed out what was going on. So yeah, it might have been a comment that was in relation to that particular analysis video. And oh right, yeah, this is a very long comment. So yeah, this is it's mentioning Dimash as well, which is another singer that I featured on my channel before, a lot of years ago, a very long time ago. But this message was saying, I'm probably going to have a very unpopular opinion here, but I know the music business, I know what goes on, and I don't pretend to be shocked. Trying to expose artists of this caliber to me is really pretty lame. If you are a musician to their pedigree, you would not stoop so low as to attack them. Phil, if you or Tim ever create anything as great as these three artists, then I would probably excuse you for lip syncing or finger syncing, whatever the case may be, because I would know that you were capable of doing such a fantastic, genius thing in the first place, and that you had performed this live many, many times. As long as you put a 3.5 hour show, as Dimash does, I wouldn't care if a tune here or there was synced for the sake of giving a total overall performance for the evening. So anyway, yeah, this goes on. As long as a lot of energy was put into the performance, even though lip syncing, I wouldn't probably notice or care, because I know that you can do the piece of perfection, as I've already seen in other live performances, and especially if you were there doing an Igor Krutoy Russian performance, then I would know that syncing is required. I wouldn't do an expose about it. But if you are mediocre, then I won't care if you're lip syncing or not, because I won't bother listening to you in the first place. You have your own band and all, but it seems like you devote your life to exposing other artists. When those artists are this much better than you, personally, I'd be embarrassed. Okay, end of comment. That was a long one. So anyway, I replied to this person saying that, first of all, music isn't a competition, and it should never be a competition. So saying that, oh, well, this artist can do that, so you've got to be able to do that in order to say one thing or another thing about them. So I said to this person that I would quite happily have, a guitar duel with Dimash, but it would be nonsensical, because Dimash would say, well, I don't play the guitar. So why would I have a guitar duel doing something that another artist does that I don't do? That, especially a guitar duel, having a guitar solo showdown or whatever. So it's nonsensical to compare artists, to say, oh, you've got to be able to do exactly what that artist does. If you start doing that and start comparing yourself to other artists, then it's never going to work, because the reason you like an artist is because they are unique. And they do what they do, and some people will like it, some people won't like it. So anyway, I also mentioned that the very point that's being made here is proving my point in the video, that it's an industry-wide problem. So this person said, if a singer was mediocre and they used pitch correction, I wouldn't care. Or they said, I wouldn't care, because I wouldn't be listening to them in the first place. So my point back to them was, how would you know the artist is mediocre? Because you won't know what you're listening to. You might think they're the most talented singer ever because they're perfectly on pitch for every single performance you've seen, but you don't know it's being pitch corrected. So this is the problem, that by saying and making the comment that great singers are being exposed, first of all, I'm not doing that. I'm exposing the industry standard, and it means that great singers don't get the recognition they deserve because the industry is making them sound like somebody who's mediocre who is using pitch correction. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting because the very point this person is making actually is proving the point of the video. So yeah, I did ask them to kind of maybe watch the video again and understand that I'm trying to get great singers' voices out there so that they do get the recognition they deserve, rather than them being made to sound mediocre because it's all pitch corrected, or you know, it might sound auto-tuned or anything like that. That's a production thing. That's not the singer's fault. So yeah, like I said, it was interesting that it proved my point, this comment, even though they're trying to disprove the point of the video because they don't really understand what I'm saying. So yeah, I think if it's fully transparent, if everything is totally honest, then the person would know the artist that they want to listen to and then they don't want to listen to, because they'd know maybe who they class as mediocre and who might not be mediocre, who's actually genuinely doing it. So yeah, interesting comment, but again, sadly, it's something that is totally the wrong way round, and they don't really understand, sadly, what's going on with the industry. Like I said, more transparency, the more transparent I can make the music industry, the better. So anyway, yeah, that's the troll comment for tonight, but we will get back into the normal live stream and tonight's cover video as well, and then Picture Corner after that. So see you guys in a second. Rock. So we will be jumping into a couple of donations. Diamond Girls donated $5, so thank you for that. And this is in the super chat window. It says, "Hey Phil, I quick shout out to Vince and Bob for a wonderful Zoom call on Saturday. Lovely time." So thank you for that, and that's a bit of a spoiler for Picture Corner, but we'll get into that after the cover video. And Vicky's donated $5 as well. So thank you for that, Vicky. And the message is, Merry Christmas, Phil. Stay warm. Enjoy your break with your family. Take time to recharge. I am sure we all hope you have a nice break. So, thank you for that. And, oh, hang on. What's happened here? There's something at the top of the live chat room that says goal. I don't know what this means. Should I click on it? Should I not click on it? I've never seen this before. I'm going to click on it. Oh, what? This is unbelievable. Make Super Chat more fun with a goal. So YouTube is suggesting now on live streams to tell people who watch the live stream that you've got a Super Chat donation goal. So, well, this couldn't be more the opposite of what I say on my live streams, and I'm going to keep saying it. You don't have to donate. Just watching is great. But now they're trying to get me to tell everyone to get a target of 10 Super Chats as a goal. So, oh guys, we need 10 more people to do a Super Chat donation, please. God. What is it turning into? Well, it's just money, isn't it? They're trying to get people to ask for money on their live streams, which I'm never going to do. So I'm going to cancel that. Oh, wow. And I'm going to tell you exactly I can't believe what this says. It says, pick a goal. And the first one is 10 Super Chats. Let me see what this goes up to. It goes up to 50 Super Chats. And so this is basically YouTube telling me to ask people to donate money 50 times, and now choose the Super Chat colours that count. So the lowest amount that counts is $2, but the default is $5. Oh no, £5. That's even worse. So it's $7. So YouTube is saying that donate $7 50 times, otherwise that doesn't count as this Super Chat goal that we're aiming for. And the red or higher is £100. This is crazy. And and set a timer. You can even put a timer on it. Guys, we've only got 30 minutes to make 50 super chat donations of £100 or more. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. So let's get out of that. All right. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys for the donations. You don't have to donate, and I won't ever be doing that in the future. So, yeah, thank you for that, Vicky, for that donation. And then Personal Stash, who has donated $2 as well. And that's just a straight up donation in the super chat window. So, we've had another donation over on PayPal. So thank you for this. And it's Joe, who has donated £15. Thank you for that, Joe. The message is, let's talk left-hand thumb position. Many rock and blues guitarists wrap the left-hand thumb over the fretboard to either fret or mute the E or A strings, while in classical guitar you're taught to anchor the thumb behind the neck. And Frippo insists on this with... Oh, Fripp. Insists. I thought that was capo, misspelled, and I thought... What? That's quite a misspelling. But anyway, discuss pros and cons, stability for runs versus reach for bar chords. So yeah, first of all, I would say it depends on your style of play. If you're playing electric guitar and you want to blend rhythm and lead, a la, or in the vein of Jimi Hendrix, or with that style of having the thumb over the top. Obviously that is his right hand that you put over the top, but it means that you can play your root note and lead lines at the same time to get a fuller sound. If you're playing with your first finger barring all the way over, you're not necessarily going to get the freedom to do that, to jump to lead lines and vibrato with the first finger, for example, and supply a root note at the same time, because your first finger, to play that note, you'd need to leave that root note. So that's the con of not having the thumb over the top. But for classical players, I mean, first of all, the guitar, when you're playing a classical guitar, the neck is wider, and it's thicker generally, but behind the neck. So it means that having the thumb over the top, unless you've got quite a long thumb, you're not going to be able to make it as easily. So generally, yeah, the first finger or the thumb is just always behind the neck, and you'll see that. So yeah, but I wouldn't say if you're playing classical guitar, or a classical guitar playing in a classical style, then that's just part of the style of playing bar chords and having that first finger behind the fretboard in order to maximize your stretch as well, in order to reach notes that you might want to have playing at the same time if you're playing a chord. So yeah, but I wouldn't insist on any way of playing, either electric if you want to try and play classical with the thumb over the top, then you can do, and it is something that I've done before, because my thumb's quite long, so it means that I can kind of pinch that low E string in order to get a root note on classical guitar as well. But yeah, for electric guitar, for me it's just something that I see more advantages to doing it than not doing it. And you might see on some players' guitars, when they are tapping, for example, if they are tapping and they've got their thumb behind the guitar, sometimes they have they have something that's going to deaden. It's like an elastic band that they put around the guitar on the first fret to deaden the strings. So it means that they don't ring out when they're playing with the thumb behind the neck. And that's fine if you want to get a nice clean sound when you are tapping and playing more technical pieces. But for me, I want access to the fretboard. If I want to go down to the first fret and play something, I don't want there to be something in the way that's keeping the other strings quiet, because I'm going to be tapping. So I'd rather work at the technique in order to keep the notes quiet while I'm tapping, still with my thumb over the top. So that's just the way that I do it, and doing it that way wouldn't be possible if you were actually having the thumb behind the neck. So again, it's just personal taste, but yeah, I'd never insist on one way or the other, because I think there are advantages to both. But personally, I think there are more advantages to having the thumb over the top. for the way that I play, but for not then having to rely on other things to do it for you. I think if you can organise your left hand and your right hand, yeah, you shouldn't be getting notes ringing out, because you can use your thumb to mute. You can also use your left hand to mute. When you're playing the notes on, playing single notes, you can just have your finger be a little bit shallow on the high E string, B string. If you're fretting, a note on the G string, then yeah, you should be able to keep it quiet, and you can use your right hand, the palm of your right hand, to keep the low E, A, and D quiet as well as that thumb. So yeah, everyone's different, but I would never insist on any particular way, because then if you just do it one way, you miss out on the advantages of the other way, which I think are plentiful when you talk about playing your thumb. Sometimes, Jimi Hendrix would do a run up with his thumb, a semitone run up, playing an A, and he'd play the G, and then the G sharp and the A with his thumb while holding that chord position. So you would say, well, how would you ever do that if your thumb is behind the neck? Because your first finger doing the bar chord, it's in a straight line. You can't. You'd have to. I don't know. You'd have to injure yourself. Yeah, you'd have to detach your finger, or maybe pull it out of its socket in order to get down to that G. So yeah, that's it's just something that wouldn't be possible. If somebody insisted on you played with the thumb behind the neck, you would not be able to do the semitone run up while holding an A chord on that low E string. It would be physically impossible. So again, why eradicate the advantage of that? Learn to do it both ways. So you can do the semitone run ups, you can play lead and rhythm at the same time, but then if you want to do the stretches, for example, in a more classical way, then you can do. So thank you for that, Joe. And Melissa's donated £15 and 8 pence. So thank you for that, Melissa. And the message is awesome channel. So thank you for the kind words. And Sue has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is take that, YouTube PayPal donation incoming. So thank you for that, Sue. Right, Personal Stash has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that. And I think Joe said demonstrate Jimmy technique. Somebody said, Phil, what if your thumb can't reach the top of the fretboard? Well, this just depends on the guitar, really. The microphone's been on for the whole live stream, so I don't know if you've been getting an echo or something like that, but anyway, it makes this bit easier. So when I'm saying about let's just move that out of the way, of the whammy bar. So the problem is I'll do this in a B position. So there, you're still hearing my B chord. Can you actually hear this? Hopefully you can. So I've got small hands. Jimi Hendrix did not have small hands, but I'm fretting the notes with my thumb. If I was going try to play a bar chord and get down, this is the problem. I'm trying to move that first finger down. So this would be your problem. It's something that I can do there, and you can definitely, you can hear that note, and it's relatively clean. Trying to get that like this, I lose the chord trying to stretch. So there's an example of not highlighting the problem with having your thumb behind the fretboard. It kind of limits what you can do. But there are advantages as well. If I'm playing like this, say for example I now wanted to reach up here, to add in a ninth there, I now have to put my thumb behind the guitar to reach that. Whereas playing like this, I've got small hands, so my thumb will never reach there. So there you go. Pros and cons. So this is why I think, well, if you can do both of those things, then you're not really limiting yourself. But playing the if you're listening to that, which you must be, I'm playing lead lines and the chord at the same time, rather than going. If I'm playing like this and going. You got that sound and. So hopefully you can hear the difference between those two. One of them is basically just lead notes. The other is everything that you were doing. And you can even, go. So I'm playing what you can hear as a riff, but I've still got this. And if you want to break off into a single note, then you can do. So that's the advantage of having the thumb over the top. So yeah, I wouldn't. I like playing like that, so I wouldn't run that out. And of course, I started kind of listening to Hendrix, and then I wanted to play the guitar, so I wanted to sound like he sounded, and he did all of that, even though he had massive hands, which I don't have. But anyway, okay, there's been another donation, and it's from Exotica Esoterica. I'm going to say that. I'm going to have to try and remember what people said in order to get the pronunciation correct. So anyway, that was, somebody else. Somebody asked, what if your thumb won't reach over the top? Then, I mean, it depends, because it might be your guitar. Like, I've got small hands, and I can kind of reach over the top. So, if you're playing a classical guitar, for example, yeah, it's unlikely that your thumb will get over the top, unless you've got quite a long thumb. But it's all about the guitar, with Ibanez guitars, for example, and the Gem, the neck has more cutaway. It's basically the distance from the fretboard to the back of the neck is smaller, is thinner. So it means that you can get your hand closer to the fretboard. Imagine if I were trying to, plug the mug, merchandise. Description below if you want to get any stuff. But say, for example, this was my guitar neck, and I wanted to play a chord, and now I want to get my thumb over the top of that chord. It's never going to happen, because imagine that's your guitar neck. It's too thick. So imagine making that mug smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it's now so thin that you can grab it like this. You can get your hand all the way around it. So it might be the case that just your guitar, it just has, if it's a classical guitar, it'll have a lot behind that fretboard, but just finding a guitar that has the ease of playability. I mean, the Yamaha guitars, the entry-level Yamahas are really good nowadays for that, really easy, high playability. And yeah, Ibanez as well are more for this kind of playability. So it might just be the case that you're playing, and maybe your hands are so small that you can play a 3/4 size guitar. It's something that Ed Sheeran does, that he's got a 3/4 size guitar. So if you've got small hands, then you can even just make the guitar smaller and still play all of this stuff, but it's just adjusting the guitar, and it's just finding what works for you. So anyway, there we go. So thank you for that. And Exotica Esoterica said, doing it just to get you to say it again. So thank you for that $9.99 donation. Hallucinogenic Recipes donated $19.99. So thank you for that, and says happy holiday with some rock horns. So thank you for that. We are going to have to jump into tonight's cover video. Looks like it's going to be Sweet Emotion. Then we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner, and then the Phil Jam, because we have hit the target for tonight's live stream with that likes goal. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. And this is myself and Chris Law with our version of Sweet Emotion. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys after. Rock!
1, 2, 3, 4.
And there we have it. That was myself and Chris Law with our version of Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, of course. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Right, Picture Corner. And then we have to get into the Fill Jam for tonight. So let's jump into Picture Corner and see what's going on. And let me bring this up on screen. There we go. So this is the Zoom call that happened over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group page on Facebook. And there's a message with this, so let me read this. And this is from Vince, and it says, first pick from left to right, and this is top left to top right. Michael, Vince, Bob, Bill, Lisa, Angela, Joe, Anna. And it says Bob is wearing his Wings of Pegasus hoodie. So, yeah, thank you for sending that in. We have another one from, I believe, later on in the evening. And this is, again, from top left, Michael, Vince, Angela, Lisa, Bob, Daniel, Joe, Kevin, Bill, Anna. And it says Vince is wearing his Wings of Pegasus hoodie. And Bob has on his 80s rock hair. So, let me see if I can spot... Oh, there we have... Yep, I can see. Bob with his 80s rock hair. And, yeah, thank you for sending that in. And Laura for linking me to it. Yeah, if you guys want to get involved over on Facebook, then you can join that supporters group if you want to. And, yeah, have the occasional Zoom call, but also the after party, which Bob hosts after the live streams. So... let's now get back to where we were, which is here and here. And I think we are ready to go. How long is this backing track going to be? Oh, 6 minutes and 5 seconds. What am I doing? Right, let me click on this because I've already got the guitar out. It's kind of thrown me a little bit. Oh, and there's an advert. Let me mute that. Play. Oh, I'm not getting any Well, I've just muted it, that's why. Right, let me skip it. So, let me know. Let me skip this advert as well. And let me know what the levels are like. And zoom out. That's part of it. Yes. Red dude appeared sooner than he does sometimes. I press it and it doesn't happen sometimes. Right, I'm going to try and hear this. Okay, I can hear it. Oh, right, this is 90s Dorian rock jam track. I was about to just get into it. 90s Dorian rock jam track, odd meter guitar backing track in 9/8, B minor in brackets. And this is from Now You Shred backing tracks. So you're not going to be able to tap your foot to this. Right, yeah, so I haven't actually played anything yet. So let me know if you can hear my guitar when I play through this. Okay, backing track too loud. Okay, right. That's... Oh, I've just stopped it. Right, backing track is loud. Okay, right, let me just try and turn it down a bit on YouTube, see if that works. Now it's too quiet for me to hear. Oh. Got my pedal here to do anything. that was it. Very sudden ending there, but it's okay because I was waiting for beat 9 in order to then make that change. So there we have it. Now, I know some people might not understand what was going on there. So when you've got, I'm going to let this play. When you've got a time signature or odd meter, as it says here, odd meter guitar backing track in 9/8. So I'll try and take you through this. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2. So you're always waiting for one extra beat. So normally you'd go. So you'd go on the 8 rather than the 9. So this is why when you're tapping your foot it feels weird, because you've got to wait for that. Kind of like that, so you've got to delay your playing. But you don't have to delay your playing. This is the point that I can go. And you can kind of play around with it. There's no rules, but when you're trying to tap your foot to it, yeah, you'll feel like you're tripping up every time that we get to 8, because there's an extra step. It's like you've caught your foot on a rock or something, or yeah, well, literally on a 90s Dorian rock that you're catching your foot on. So anyway, thank you for that, Joe. And again, that's 90s Dorian rock jam track, odd meter guitar backing track in 9/8, and then B minor in brackets from now you shred backing tracks, and that's with you in capital letters. So right, I just have to jump into the PayPal window because we had a couple of donations in there. Diane has donated £7.54, so thank you for that. And there's a message that says love this cover, so thank you for that. And that must have been, yeah, the Sweet Emotion cover. And Beth has donated £35 as well, so thank you for that, Beth. And the message is, phew, able to tune in just in time for the Phil Jam. Loved the explanation of the meter too. Thanks for that, best Beth. So thank you guys for tuning in. And Jan's just jumped in there and says jump with 20 Norwegian kroner in the super chat window, so thank you for that, Jan. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we got the guitar out, even though we got it out to demonstrate a few things earlier. But yeah, if you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can hit that thumbs up. It really does all help to get the channel out there, and yeah, to get the live streams out there a little bit more as well. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week. I'm going to be here on Saturday night with another live stream, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time, as always. But I will be here with another video tomorrow night, of course. So yeah, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is where you are, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!